Happy July, everyone. Welcome to the show where we give you a quick recap on everything happening in Halo. Today, we're going to be looking at everything we saw in the month of July. There's a lot to cover here, so we're just going to dive straight into it. Halo Infinite has officially revealed its gameplay at the Xbox Game Showcase. Now, I think this is news that most of you pretty much already know, and there are countless videos breaking down what we saw, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. But some things to note are sprint, slide, and clamber are coming to Infinite. We got to see our first look at the grappling hook, which 343 are calling the grapple shot. Equipment is making a return, however, will function differently from single player to multiplayer, with multiplayer acting more like Halo 3's equipment pickups. We were also introduced to the game's villain, Escharum. The gameplay demo sparked a lot of discussion in the community, mostly about its graphics. 343 did make a statement reassuring that the game is very much still a work in progress and that the demo we saw was an older build from a few weeks prior. A big argument being made is that what we saw was not up to the glorified standard that Microsoft put on the new Xbox Series X, being stamped as a graphical powerhouse. Several YouTubers have made great arguments and commentaries on what we saw. A couple ones to note are the Actmans and Favyns. I feel like these two are great examples, as one is cautiously optimistic about the game, whereas the other is very critical. Links are always going to be down below. In a recent blog update from 343, it's been confirmed that the classic tactical shotgun and magnum that we all know and love is not currently in Halo Infinite. They stated that the pistol and shotgun we did see in the demo will have several variants, so maybe we'll see like a skin of some sort for each of those weapons. Just as fans were starting to get a little worried about things, a leak from the Smith's Toy UK Twitter showed that Halo Infinite will supposedly have free-to-play multiplayer and support 120 frames per second. As people started to get excited about this possibility, 343 jumped on the leak and confirmed it via their Twitter page. So yes, Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play for everyone, and the Xbox Series X will support up to 120 frames per second. But what does that mean for something like Xbox Live? Do we still need gold to play online? Maybe Xbox is going to eliminate the need for gold to play online. Something to note is that if you try to purchase Xbox Live Gold from the Xbox website, they no longer have the option to purchase 12 months. Only 3 months and 1 month, I believe. My guess is they are beginning to taper off the gold in time for Xbox Series X and free online play for everyone. This will be an absolute win for gamers, but it leaves a bit to be worried for when it comes to microtransactions and a battle pass, not to mention ads. Speaking of leaks, a Redditor by the name JJab91 found a possible leak of Battle Royale coming to Infinite via the Halo Infinite Japanese page. I'm not going to speculate too much on this since there's not really much clear about it. The wording here translates to genre Battle Royale shooting. It's hard to ignore and disregard something like this right after 343 announced free-to-play multiplayer, which is extremely common in today's Battle Royale titles. We'll have to wait and see for official confirmation though, especially as 343 has been explicit in the past that the only BR they care about is the battle rifle. What I always thought would be neat is when they show off the new Forge mode, they express the power by creating a Battle Royale map and game type. I think that'd be pretty hype. Moving along, a few more things to know for Infinite is split screen is returning to the form of 2-player split screen and 4-player online co-op. LAN will also be supported. Black undersuits will return to the Spartan models. There will be no real money loot boxes. Player customization will be similar to the style of Halo Reach. Players who hit level 152 in Halo 5 will be commemorated in Infinite, although it was mentioned that it was nothing major. And Infinite's Forge will be the first time to have an undo and redo button. Now that sounds like such a small thing, but it's not. It's a big deal for Forgers. Before we move on, I want to ask for your feedback on this show. Are we covering everything you expected? Is the format working for you? Anything we can improve on? Your feedback is critical and highly appreciated. Let us know in the comments or hit us up on Twitter. Okay, moving on from Infinite, there's a lot to talk about in MCC, but I'm just going to touch on the major points. Off the bat, 343 touched on the troubles with hit registration in Halo 3. The gist of it is they are working on it, but it's not as simple of a solution as one might think. A player on YouTube by the name of Corner Studios did a fantastic technical breakdown on the issue that I highly recommend you check out. Again, links are down below. Next, we're getting even more customization options in MCC. Weapon skins are going to be made for Halo 3 just like they were for Combat Evolved. It still blows my mind they're able to take 10-plus-year-old games on an ancient engine and add more to it. The folks working on MCC deserve way more credit than they've been getting. On top of that, the M6C SOCOM pistol and the M7S SMG is coming to Halo 3 multiplayer. These are the pistol and SMG that you use in Halo ODST. The pistol will finally be useful in Halo 3. This will all fall under the new Season 3 of MCC, which will include a flurry of new challenges. It was stated that you will still be able to complete previous season's unlocks as normal, but the season-specific challenges will be over. So now's the time to grind out Season 2's challenges. Last month we talked quickly about Halo 3 ODST and Firefight coming to MCC PC, and now we get some flighting details. Flighting will begin sometime in the first half of this month, and there's going to be a lot of content available during this flight. I'm not going to go through all of it now, but you can take a look right now on screen or visit the blog post linked below. Wrapping up MCC, I'm super excited to say that Crossplay is actively being developed and planned for release later this year alongside input-based matchmaking, a custom game browser, mouse and keyboard support for Xbox, and a PC file share. MCC is really shaping up to be a content powerhouse, and I'm all for it. Moving forward, Trespass has everything covered on the esports and community side of things.
Another month has passed, and we've been kept busy with all sorts of online action. Europa Halo held the European Nations Cup this past weekend. As the name implies, the competition consisted of national teams made up of players from across the continent. In the end, the championship did indeed come home, with the English first team sweeping the Germans to win it all. SWAT Nation were busy bees as well, hosting their SWAT Noon and Summer Night Classic events. Lesh and Bohm took home the Noon victory, while the co-ed duo of Clips and Envor topped the Classic event. Speaking of co-ed, signups for the mixed doubles Bears Don't SWAT event close on August 13th, with the competition itself being held on the 15th. Penn Halo is running a Draft Halo 3 tournament on the 23rd of August. It's a double elimination format and entry is $15. GT Halo ran the 4th iteration of their Quarantine Schoolyard event on the 19th. There were no T-Rexes getting bopped this time around though, as the potential Dino squad of Abs the Boss, Overdrawn, Madam Carnage, and Generic swept the grand finals. Sentinels cemented themselves as the team to beat heading into Infinite by winning their 4th straight and the last HCS Halo 2 Anniversary Pro Weekend. Holding the #1 spot across the entirety of the series made a statement. Everyone else, you've got your work cut out for you. Pump the brakes on that. It was actually just announced by Sentinels that APG was going to be parting ways with the team. The exact circumstances surrounding the decision are still unknown at this time, but based on APG's tweet, it doesn't exactly seem like it was his choice. The big question then becomes, who's going to replace him? Do we see a surprise Frosty return, or maybe Shotzi coming back to Halo as alluded to by this Twitter clip from Hex? What we do know for sure though is that all eyes are going to be on that 4th roster slot, and it has the chance to kick everything into full roster mania mode. Last but certainly not least, it was announced that the HCS Grassroots Cup is going to take place on August 9th. Teams will be drawn from 4 pools of players. There will be 1 pool for each of the groups represented. Those groups are community leaders, content creators, grassroots members, and most excitingly, 343 staff. Teams will have 1 member from each group. The draw is happening on August 7th at 6 p.m. Eastern, with the cup itself starting at 1 p.m. Eastern 2 days later.
That will just about do it this month. To be clear, we didn't touch on absolutely everything, just the main points that we deem worth mentioning. Again, let us know how you feel about everything. This is a new show for us, so it's an ongoing learning experience. I'm DynaSean, joined by Trespass for Paradise Halo, and thank you for stopping by. See you next month.